distribution of, this, I should say national, not natural, forgive me. It is national resources, which is tied to history. I call it the Bantustan phenomenon. Why do I say so? You cannot forget about history when you are talking about poverty and inequality, where historically we have reserved some part of the country as the labor source. When I say the Bantustan, the South African philosophy of making the blacks supply cheap labor. That is what Ghana did at independence, or even before independence, reserving the north to supply cheap labor. And fundamentally, if those people who are victims of that obnoxious policy are not capacitated to rise up in terms of capital accumulation, if your grandfather is poor, the likelihood that your father will be poor is high. The likelihood that you yourself will be poor is extremely high. And so that cycle of poverty will go on. And that is what history is telling us in terms of the inequality that we have in the country. Even if you look at just infrastructure development, the disparity between the North and the South. Whilst they were building here, they reserved the North as sources of supply to farms in the South or in the Middle Belt. And that you cannot throw away the issue of history if you need to explain some of these things. So even in terms of distribution of national resources, for example, we did a study on the school feeding when it started. You realize that in terms of allocation of schools, at the time, they were allocating more of the schools to many schools in Ashanti region where I come from. And per the criteria that were developed, those schools did not qualify. Even Achimota School was getting school feeding initially. What business have Achimota School and some schools in Kumasi, and for that matter in the Middle Belt, have to benefit from a social intervention program like that if we want to address inequality in the country in terms of providing educational opportunities for people who do not have? And so the way we even implement some of the social intervention program, elite capture, political clientelism, takes away the beauty of such interventions that would have otherwise addressed inequality. And so it is not surprising that we have this kind of inequality always increasing. And